Hello, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. Now, can I just start by thanking everybody that took the time to comment and have a good chat about the last video I posted, obviously about facilities for HGV drivers like myself around the UK. From the interaction I got and the messages I got, everybody feels the same, that the facilities are appalling. Will anything change in the near future? I don't think so. For a prime example is, I stopped at the new Rotherham services. I think it was last week. I was short of time, so I thought to myself, we'll get in there. I'm not a million miles from my delivery in the morning, so I pulled in. Plenty of parking. There wasn't that many trucks in there, to be fair. And it's a strange setup because as you go southbound on the M1, the truck parking is on the southbound side, but there's also an amenity building on the right hand side as you're going north. Now, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think that's just for cars and coaches. I think they keep the trucks obviously on the truck park, which I get. You know, as you're all aware, when we park on normal services, the lorry park is a good 20-minute stroll across to the amenity building. Now, when I first pulled on there, like I say, there wasn't many trucks on there. I went into the amenity building, which is okay. It's got a gym at the side of it. Now, I don't know if that's free to use or you get it with your parking. Not a clue. I haven't really looked at that side of it yet. I was greeted by a lovely young lady. Very nice, very helpful. I paid my £35 parking and had a quick walk around the shop. They sell the usual, you know, your sweets, your crisps. There's a few accessories for trucks, cleaning products, etc. And a coffee machine. Unfortunately, both of the Starbucks coffee machines were out of order. So if you wanted a hot drink, you would have to walk a good 15 minutes out of the lorry park under the M1 onto the right hand, you know, the service amenity building on the other side to get a hot drink, which I'll get machines break down, you know, but I think that was a bit crap. Luckily, I've got a Gusto coffee machine in the cab, as I've shown in my previous videos. So I walked back to the cab. I got my shower kit in my bag, and I thought I'm going for a nice shower. I walked into the toilets, which were spotless. To be fair, the toilets were spotless. Yes, I know what we're all going to say. They're probably not going to stay like that for long, which probably they're not. There's always a minority, shall we say, that don't appreciate, you know, and look after the facilities that we get as truck drivers, which is why it's going the way it's going. Because I imagine a lot of companies and, you know, the motorway service station operators are thinking, well, why would we spend money refurbishing everything when it's just going to get wrecked? I can see their point, you know, I get it, but you know, they're tarring every truck driver with the same brush. Now, myself, if I stop for a shower and there's a squeegee available outside, I'll clean up when I've finished. I'll wash the sink down if I've had a shave. It's not rocket science. Some people don't seem to bother. But anyway, so I goes into the shower block and there's 6 showers and 4 of them were out of order. So I stood waiting my turn. I got chatting to another couple of drivers, and a driver came out of the shower with my turn to go in, and he looked at me and said, "Good luck." To which I said, "What do you mean, good luck?" He says, yeah. He says, "It's stone cold." I said, "You're joking?" He said, "No." So I thought, well, better have a cold shower than not have a shower at all. So I went in, and by Christ, it was cold. I mean, it was bitter cold. The water was freezing. So I had a quick shower. And on the way out, I said to the young lady behind the counter, now I know it's not her fault, but I said, look, pardon me, is there somebody I can speak to regarding the showers. I said there's 4 that's out of order, and the 2 that are available out of the 6 are just running cold water. And she says, well, I can take a note and I'll pass it on to estates who manage it, like. Says, but they've actually been like that for 3 days now. Now, I'm not a bright man, but I'm thinking you pay £35 to park your truck of an evening. The least they can offer is a nice hot shower, is it not? I just don't get it. You know, the amount of money that these motorway services are making, it's ridiculous. Yes, it's going to have teething troubles. It's a new services, I understand that. But surely there should be things in place when things like this happen. You get that on a normal weeknight. I don't know, there was, when I went back after my cold shower, there was probably 30 or 40 trucks parked there. Now, all them chaps are going to want a shower, aren't they? So they're all going to be standing in the toilets for a good 20 minutes while everybody has the shower. It's crazy. It's a crazy world. But it is what it is. You know, things break down. But surely they should have on-site fitters, plumbers, whatever you want to call them, to deal with these kind of problems, especially for the money we're paying as truck drivers. As I said before, I pay my nights out from my own pocket. I put the bill in, the receipt, and I get it back. A couple of people asked me if we've got a Snap account, which we haven't. The new company that's just brought us out, they're thinking of introducing the Snap account, so it won't affect me buying the ticket, but it's still messing about, isn't it? You know, for the company, they're going to pay whatever it is, averaging £30 to £35 a night to park on the services. And what do we get as drivers? Nothing really. I'm pretty self-sufficient in the cab. Like I say, I have my Gusto box. I cook all my fresh meals at home and I bring them away. Luckily, I've got a microwave in the top locker, as I showed in my video about what I carry as a tramper. I've got a coffee machine. I'm pretty self-sufficient, so I don't really bother with the meal vouchers. If I get a meal voucher, I'll give it to our fitter in the garage and he can use it at his leisure. But I did stop at Blythe Services on the A1 there in Nottinghamshire. Last week it was. I was short of time. I could have stopped in a lay-by, but again, why should we stop in urine stinking lay-bys, where there's the risk of diesel theft, your load getting nicked, and if they don't nick the load, it's the damage to the curtains, isn't it? When they slash the curtains to see what you're carrying. Not so bad for me because as you all know, I pull a walk-in floor trailer about, but they could always open the back doors, and if I'm loaded, there's going to be half the load on the floor. Yes, I have got an airlock that I put on, and I do put it on at night, which prevents the doors being opened, but it only takes me to forget, and there you go. So I decided that Blythe would be a good option. Now, if we've all been on there, we know it's not the biggest services in the world. I got there probably 6:45 and it was rammed. There was just nowhere to park. Luckily, there was a Kalina Logistics. He just pulled out of a spot, so I got the spot. So I went across to pay. I think it was about £32, I think. So I didn't have a shower there because I had a shower at one of my delivery locations. They're kind enough to let me use the shower there, so I didn't worry too much about that. She said, do you want a meal voucher? I said, yeah, please, obviously to give it to the fitter. And I said, where can I use it in here? She said, well, you can't use it in WH Smith's, but you can use it in I think it was a Waitrose, the Burger King, or Greggs. Well, obviously that time of night, Greggs was closed. I didn't really fancy a burger, so I used it in Waitrose. Now I've got a £5 meal voucher to use in Waitrose. That's the way forward, right? Okay, if you like a burger or a Greggs or whatever, then fair enough, spend it in there. Me trying to eat a bit more healthy, and I think there should be more healthy options for us as drivers. You know, there should be food that's good for you, you know, instead of eating KFC, McDonald's, all the usual junk. Okay, I didn't get a lot for my £5 in Waitrose, but the thought was there. So I went back into the lady that was sat behind the counter in Smith's. I says, well, how long has this been that we could use the meal voucher at Waitrose? Now, this is what she told me. Now, feel free in the comments down below to correct me if I'm wrong, but she said they've just started doing it recently on a trial period. And I said, well, you know, what's the sort of take up? I explained I've got I'm starting a YouTube channel. And she said the take up's been pretty good. A lot of the drivers will go into Waitrose and buy, you know, something healthy, something different, you know, instead of the usual run-of-the-mill rubbish that we all shove down our band chutes. And it was refreshing to see that you could actually use your meal voucher in Waitrose. Like I say, £5 doesn't get you a lot. I bought a pasta salad and a bottle of water, and I had to put £2.50 towards it. It is what it is. Waitrose is quite expensive as a shop, I imagine. I don't shop there myself, but there you go. But that bit there is going in the right direction. All we've got to sort now is the showering facilities and the toilet facilities. I stopped at Woolly Edge this morning at 5:15 on my way down from Leeds. I needed the toilet. I went into every single toilet cubicle and they were disgusting. There was feces all over the seat, all over the back of the toilet. There was tissue thrown everywhere, empty drink bottle, and no, I'm not using them facilities. I would rather crap myself than use them. So I went and said to the lady in the shop, I said, look, the toilets are disgraceful. She said, oh yeah, we know, the cleaner doesn't start till 8 o'clock. So the toilets were going to remain in a state like that till 8 o'clock today, till the cleaner came in. Again, surely they should have a cleaner on shift patterns, you know. But there we are. It's not going to change anytime soon, but there are glimmers of hope. And I'm going to throw it out there. People don't believe me when relatives, my family, friends, that are telling what we have to put up with as drivers, you know. So I'm going to throw it out there to someone in government, a local MP, someone who's in charge of the licensing for motorway service areas. I challenge you to come out with me for 2 days, okay? 2 days eating, sleeping and living in this truck. Whether you're an MP, a local MP, someone from the media, truck and driver, you know, trucking magazine, whoever. I'm challenging someone to come out with me, even if you come out for a day, and see what we have to put up with as professional drivers. And I'm sure you will see why nobody's coming into the industry. So I'll put that out there. I'll feel free to comment if anybody wants to do that. I'm trying to raise awareness of what we put up with as drivers, not just the facilities, but overnight parking locations, the way we treat you generally on the road, you know, just everything that goes with the job. As for moving forward with the channel, I'm trying to build it. So can I say a massive thank you to everybody that's subscribed at the moment. I'm actually blown away by the amount of, cheers mate, that's me loaded, by the amount of interaction that the last video got. I appreciate every single comment. I will answer every comment, and I'm trying to build the channel up and up and up and push it forward. So if you like this video, make sure to hit the little bell. I don't know how it works, I'm all new to it. Give us a thumbs up because it helps push this out there, and subscribe. And like I say, if anybody's up for that, whether you're a member of parliament or someone from the media or the press, then leave a comment down below and come and see what we have to put up with as classed as professional drivers. I'm sure if we put enough footage out there that things will start to change quicker than what they are now. Because at the minute, it's a joke. You know, it's just ridiculous. So, like I say, if you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. And, yeah, keep the comments coming. I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers. If I can reach the 500 subscribers, I'm going to do a giveaway, just a prize. Because just my way of giving back to everybody out there that's subscribed. So obviously there'll be more on that in the future. So I better go and do some work because he's getting impatient. So like I say, anybody from the press, or even if they want me to take the footage and all the details and forward it to him, let me know in the comments down below, and let's see if we can't sort this out. Thank you again for watching, and take it easy out there.